Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Jonathan Reeves and Jonathan Reeves CAD here with another Vectorworks video, and today we're going to go on a very exciting adventure using AI visualization directly in Vectorworks to create some beautiful images and sketches. So let's get started on this new tutorial. So I'm using the Vectorworks 2025 update 2 that just came out, and I'm going to drag in one of my Twinmotion images that I created for my Twinmotion tutorial recently. Now, if you haven't seen Twinmotion in action, do check it out. It's unbelievable for the latest version, and the renderings we can produce are stunning. So I've got this nice little Christmassy feel, kind of cabin in the woods on a snowy day. And what I'm going to do is select the AI visualizer and basically go to my prompt. So we're going to refresh the image. So that's the base image that I'm going to be prompting. And basically, I'm just going to type in some architectural style, kind of loose hand sketches, let's say pencil sketch, something like that. By the way, you can right click and spell check in there as well if you want to. And let's just click generate. Now it's super simple and really easy and fun to do. Now you can see the progress bar on the bottom there, and already it's looking quite promising. But once you see the final thing that's generated, so there it is. Now we've already got the ability to put that onto the drawing, but if I do want to go for slightly better quality, I will just upgrade that to a 4K. So I think sometimes it's worth it. If you click upscale, it takes a few moments longer, but you get a really nice resolution 4K image that you can work with. So let's see how this 4K image compares, and then the others I think I'll just do as normal resolution. So when I'm ready, I can click create bitmap. Let's just move the AI visualizer to my other screen, and there you can see our 4K sketch basically using that AI visualizer, and it looks really, really nice. Now I've shown this tip before if you've seen my videos, but I really love to overlay these images and then just using the wonderful opacity function in Vectorworks for that particular object, just fade in a little bit of opacity. So you've got the underlying image, the base image, and the new image on top with some nice sort of sketchiness about it. So what do you think? I think that looks absolutely stunning, and it's definitely a lot less realistic, but much more kind of artistic and sketch-like. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh our image and do a brand new AI visualization. And this time we'll type in a slightly different prompt. I'm going to type in accurate. Instead of pencil, I'll go for sketch, or ink sketch rather. And let's say black ink, so we're very specific, otherwise it probably might put some color in. And we'll take the word sketch off, and in fact put the word sketch just after style. So sometimes with the prompting, you've got to experiment with your prompts a little bit in order to get the best sort of use out of those, and also the creativity slider as well. So let's go ahead and generate this image and see how this pans out. I'm quite excited to see how this will work, and already it's looking promising. I like the way it develops in front of you, but then you can actually kind of like look at the final image, and when we're ready, we could upscale, but let's just go for it. I'm going to create that image just as a normal resolution one and drop it on just for speed really today. Okay, so once again, I can't resist overlaying and just introducing a little bit of opacity to show you that wonderful option to get those sort of nice, accurate kind of like sketches. Okay, so I'm really happy with these two images so far. You know, really nice to produce these lovely sketch images of my exciting Twinmotion render. Let's keep going with this. I want to do a couple more for you. So I think this time we'll change the prompt and go for a watercolor. Let's try painting in there as a prompt as well. And basically, let's see how this looks. Perhaps we'll take away the accurate and we'll just say with black ink. Okay, so we'll click generate. I do want to kind of like just see how this pans out before we move on to show you an amazing feature where we can recall the prompts for use in other images, which is a real killer feature. Okay, so already the preview is showing me this looks nice. Now, if I do want to, I can save this image to a file. But once again, I'm just going to generate that bitmap. And let's just pop away the AI visualizer, put that on my other screen there. And let's just do that overlaying trick one final time. I can't resist. So I think this looks amazing. I'm really happy with that little sketch. And wow, that looks absolutely gorgeous. So I think, you know, I'll be sending this out as a really nice little Christmas card to my clients, and maybe making it a little bit more kind of artistic and loose, and, you know, definitely fun to do. Now, I think with AI visualization, with all the AI image generators out there, we have a wealth of these. What I really like about the Vectorworks built-in one, of course, is the speed and the ability to apply this to my Vectorworks drawings or viewports. Now, if you remember, this will work on both a viewport, but also an image that you've brought in, like a photograph or a rendering like this. So I think what we'll do, we'll just go for one more style, a woodcut etching with black outlines. Let's see how this comes out. I've no idea how this is going to come out. As I say, AI is a bit like rolling a dice. You keep rolling until you get something you like, but then I will show you the magic trick that makes all of this worthwhile. So that's definitely a different style to my pencil sketch and my ink sketch. It really is interesting how you can get these different styles just by modifying the text prompts. So already, guys, in a few minutes, I've created 4 different versions of my wonderful twin motion rendering in a variety of wonderful sketch styles. And then using the overlaying technique and opacity, I've got an unlimited number of styles that I can create as well. Okay, so now I really want to show you the new feature in the 2025 update. So I'm going to go and create a brand new layer, and let's just start that whole process again. So from my images here, I'm just going to drag in another one of my Twin Motion Friday exercise renders. This was a really fun little exercise where I made a video on how I produced this lovely image in about 20 minutes. Okay, so let's basically refresh that image. And what you're going to notice is I can now click recall. Now, this is the magic trick. It basically recalls the sort of text prompts, if you like, from my previous image. So I could select any of those images. Let's go for this watercolor. So now I can go to AI Visualiser and click recall. Note how it brings back that text prompt, and then I can either copy and paste that text prompt so I can reuse it, or if I just go and select the new image, it's still there. So apart from clicking a refresh, just so I've got the new base image, I can now use the identical text prompt from that previous image that I created a moment ago in my sketch file. So let's generate this. It'd be interesting to see how this comes out. This should have similar qualities to that other watercolor that I just created a moment ago, albeit with the new underlying base image as well. So I think you'll agree, it definitely has a similar look and feel. So let's just generate that image. Okay, let's pop that away. That's my record text prompt. And let's basically go for it. Let's do a different one. So I just went over and got a different text prompt, which I clicked recall. And now let's recall the architectural loose hand pencil sketch style and see how this looks as well. So I think you'll agree, this is a really wonderful thing that makes experimenting with the AI visualizer quite worthwhile, because if you can find that kind of style that works, it means that you can hold on to it and just recall them very, very easily. Potentially you could build like a library file of all your different images and text prompts with all these different wonderful styles. So there's one more new feature that I do also want to show you on the new AI visualizer in Vectorworks 2025 Update 2. So this one is all about creating textures. So you notice that I've actually gone from Vectorworks image over to text prompt only. Now there's a couple of little settings in here where I can click enable seamless tiling. And basically what I've done is type in a prompt which is realistic brick texture. So basically Vectorworks is creating a texture for me, a tileable texture. Now, you know, it looks a bit wobbly, but it's interesting. So I'm going to create that as a bitmap object. And you can now see there it is down flat on the ground. Now a nice little trick here is if you just put it into side view and rotate it up, if you do want to, you could actually basically scale it and basically use this as an image file, you know, in your project. So here I've got a wall behind. You can see the image is quite nicely tileable, that's for sure. So I could select all of those and just sort of drag them back to that wall. And just basically, I know this is like a 2D image rather than a 3D rendered texture, but it's certainly quite rapid and quite fast. So let's look at something else we could do using this. Let's try a modern brick texture, see how this comes out. So I'm just going to basically generate that once again and see if it comes up with a different looking brick this time. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'm not too keen on the layering here. So a bit of a misinterpretation here. So let's type in English bond, see if we can refine our text prompt a little bit as well. So definitely this to me looks earlier in development. Okay, that's definitely a closer bond to English bond. It's still a bit wibbly and wobbly, so I'm not completely happy with this as a texture. And I don't think I'd be building my building out of these textures yet. Now, I've got some other really amazing tips for texturing in Vectorworks, so I will be making some videos on those. So if you are new around here, do make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps the videos and it helps other people find these wonderful videos that I enjoy making for you. So let's go for it, a final kind of attempt to see if we can get a meaningful kind of repeatable, tileable texture. And then I've got one more very, very cool feature I do want to show you. So make sure you hang around to the end of the video. Okay, so let's see how this comes out. Now it's definitely getting better. It feels like it's refining. I'm not quite there, it's still a bit wobbly, but you notice that I can kind of generate that if I want to, and use that image in some way as a texture or an image fill. So I think what we'll do, we'll try one more prompt. I'm going to go for some regular limestone paving and see how this works. Now, this maybe is a little bit more simple for the AI to produce. So I'm hopeful that this will be a bit more kind of consistent with what I'm looking for. Okay, so far, so good. This looks quite nice. Let's see how it is when it's refined. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So let's create that as a bitmap image. And you'll notice now it's come out. Not worried about the scale. I can just literally grab the corner. Let's delete that one. Let's snap that one there. We'll scale it down. One of the nice things is as well with the images, you can just scale those down by a factor. So let's see if it's tileable. Yes, it is. So you can see we've created something quite rapidly without having to go and look online for different materials and textures. And we've been able to do that directly in our Vectorworks software, which is pretty cool. Okay. So now I'm going to show you this other very cool feature. I'm not going to create a tileable texture, but I'm going to use something called an alpha channel now. And my prompt here is a man with a dog. Nice and simple. Already the AI is producing what looks like a cool photo of a man with a dog. It looks like he's got a little handbag there, which is nice too. Okay, so that's cool. Let's create that bitmap image. And there it is. Okay, and if I do want to now, obviously I can scale that down. Let's just scale that down a bit. Go over to my other view. So we'll scale it down to about 2 meters. Let's flip it up in front view. And there we go. There we have it. So we've got a man with a dog. I didn't need to go on the internet and trawl around for 10 minutes. I just immediately used the AI visualizer to create something, just to create maybe a sketch impression of what I'm after. Okay, so let's try this prompt again. I like this. Let's type Acer tree. Okay, we'll cue that. You can see the visualizer is progressing already. And let's see what it produces in terms of a tree. Okay, yeah, all right, that's a bit fantastical. So I think I'm going to try realistic tree. So let's just refine our prompt. Okay, and let's try again. So we'll generate that one again. Hopefully this will be a bit less sort of anime and a bit more realistic in terms of what we can use. Okay, so we're progressing. Oh wow, this is looking good. I'm quite hopeful that this tree will actually be usable. And I've got a couple of other little tricks I'll show you as well. Okay, so watch this. Well, let's create this bitmap of this lovely tree with the alpha channel. Actually looks really, really good. Okay, so we'll go to our AI visualizer and just move that out the way. Let's go to the top plan view and scale that tree down. I could have upscaled it to 4K if I wanted better quality, but that's fine. So let's scale that right down. And let's put it into the front view and flip it up again. And wow, that actually looks really, really good. So we can now scale it as appropriate, duplicate it. And also I can do things like sort of copy it, if I can select it, to basically put it behind that wall, just so we've got that kind of different, slightly different drawing order. So I can copy those trees around and basically start making almost like a collage using Vectorworks and the AI visualizer. Now, if you do want to do a bit of tweaking to things like the colors and the tones, the wonderful image effects, which is also like a mini cut down version of Photoshop built directly into Vectorworks, will do that for you in record time. So this is a really nice additional feature, the image effects. Finally, I'd like to see if I can create an image prop. So these actually spin and revolve in 3D as well. Now, I'm not quite sure how to do that. So I'm just going to kind of work this out with you. So I think what I'm going to do is select the tree. I might need to just slightly export this as an image file. So let's go to current view and we'll draw a marquee around that tree. This allows me to basically export that at say 200 dpi. Okay, so now I've exported that, I can save that off to my desktop. And basically let's just call that tree. Okay, now I can actually create the image prop by re-importing it. I'd like to see Vectorworks make that a little bit easier so you don't have to export it and import it. But even so, it's quite straightforward and it doesn't take very long. So starting with nothing, I've prompted the AI visualizer to create a tree. And now basically I'm able to bring that in, making the alpha channel available and actually creating a really nice image prop. So let's copy and paste that back into my model. Let's paste it into 3D, and you can see the difference here is this is actually a 3D which will revolve and spin around as image props do. So these look really, really good from different views, and the other benefit of image prop is I can just scale those as well. So I think you'll agree in terms of speed, these are super quality and very, very useful to create sort of things like vegetation, people, other kind of entourage perhaps for your project. Not sure about the tileable patterns yet. That brick's too wobbly for my liking, but with some further experimentation and refinement, this could be something that we'll be able to use very usefully. Now I can't resist doing one final little trick here. That graffiti looks really nice. I'm just going to type in a graffiti prompt here just to see what the AI visualizer throws up. And we're going to create this with an alpha channel. And let's basically just go down. Now, if you haven't seen my video on grunge and graffiti using image fills, that's definitely worth a watch. This really chimes in very, very nicely with that, in that using image fills in Vectorworks is super quick and a very, very effective way to basically make really creative images. So you can add things like, grime and sort of grunge, things like graffiti, just sort of bringing things to life in a slightly sort of more kind of creative fashion. But the beauty is it's all very, very quick to do. And you can see I've now got that nice graffiti on my brick wall. Let's change that color temperature using the image fill a bit. So we're going to image effects. Let's change the saturation down, maybe the contrast, and have a little fiddle around with things like exposure as well. So quite fun to do. Okay, so I think you'll agree, starting from absolutely zero, not importing any materials or textures and using the AI visualizer has resulted in quite a fun little image. And I've got one more thing I want to show you before we finish up on this video. Okay, so this time I just want to show you and remind you really, if you do want to just create a beautiful, realistic image from scratch, bit of a roll of the dice, you can just type in a pure text prompt. Now, creativity will have an impact on the view. So I've given it a pretty simple prompt. I've not told it what kind of view or anything like that at this stage. All I said was a contemporary villa by the sea. And basically Vectorworks has produced an image that it kind of thinks is, a contemporary villa by the sea. Now that works quite well. So let's actually refine the view a little bit more. This time I'm going to type in the word aerial view afterwards, see if the AI interprets that for me. And let's do exactly the same prompt, but with aerial view as the prompt instead. Okay, so now it's definitely done a higher level aerial view, as you can see. It looks like quite a contemporary villa by the sea. We've got lots of swimming pools, so that's always a bonus. It's interesting, that's the thing about all AI generated images. They're going to give you some ideas and maybe allow you to develop some concepts. We're not at the stage where you would go and say, yes, let's build this building from AI. Now that would be quite a worrying development for architects and designers, I think. So you've got to see AI as a tool that you can incorporate and embrace in your workflow. It's there to be used in intelligent ways and, used as a sort of idea generation. But I think it has some real value. And also we're at the infancy of where this might go. So this technology will develop more and more. Okay, so here we've got a different prompt, contemporary wood villa set in a forest by a lake, eye level view. And to be fair, it has done a pretty good job at all of those things. It's certainly contemporary, it's wood, it's in the forest, and it is by the lake. So it's really kind of listened, and I can refine these things as we go, just to get what we want. Okay, so let's now type in traditional as an additional prompt in here, and let's remove the by the lake. Okay, and we'll put some mountains behind. Let's see how this looks. Right click and do the spell checking if you keep typing things wrong, like I do. Okay, so we'll queue this one up and let's generate this one. I'm quite excited to see what this will produce. Wow, that's really a nice little kind of very traditional villa. It's definitely got the mountain scene and the forest. It's made of wood, so that kind of all makes sense. The balcony looks a bit rickety, but you know, there's an idea there, a concept that I can play with. So within a few minutes, I think you'll agree that I've just explored some ideas just from my own sort of creative mind, just having quite a bit of fun with the AI. As I say, this version of Vectorworks AI is the second version that's come out. We've already seen some really good improvements. I'm really excited about the direction this is going in Vectorworks. And you know, there are other AI technologies out there that I'm already incorporating into my workflow. For example, when I do my teaching and training online all over the world, I've got an amazing AI note taker that will take extremely detailed notes so that when you're learning from me, you don't have to take notes at all. And the AI basically allows you to click on a specific note in that training guide and just jump to whichever part of the video that relates to. So it really is unbeatable. So, you know, using these kind of technologies in my teaching and training has really enhanced the quality of the delivery of my product. So if you are out there and you would like to learn Vectorworks and incorporate all these wonderful tools and techniques, particularly 3D and rendering, please reach out to me. I would love to help. I do teaching all over the world via Zoom, no matter what time zone you're in, and I'll look forward to working with you. It's always very rewarding to meet people from all over the world. But now we've got a different prompt. We've got a snowy setting with a ski home, and suddenly I'm back on track with something that actually is pretty cool and a nice little image that I can use. So as I say, sometimes with the AI, it doesn't always work out how you want it. You've just got to experiment, roll the dice, see what happens. If you keep rolling enough, you will definitely get something that is pleasantly surprising and usable. Okay, so we'll save that file, and I'm basically going to keep that onto my desktop. So I could actually reuse that maybe like for my Christmas card this year for the office. So I think we've had a really good little kind of set of results here. I think you'll appreciate how nice these images are once you start trying this yourself. So if you're a Vectorworks 2024 or 25 user, make sure that you get hold of the AI visualizer. Just add it to your workspace if it's not there already. If you do the update, it should already be there. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the video now. I'm just going to refine this with one final thing. As you know, I'm based in the United Kingdom, in the UK, so I can't resist going for something a little bit more traditional for you. Let's do a traditional English cottage with an English garden at eye level. Okay, so I'm quite excited to say how this comes out compared to all the contemporary architecture I've been focusing on so far. Oh wow, so this is definitely a very traditional sort of cottagey style, and actually very, very realistic. We've got that thatched cottage, we've got the kind of stone, and we've certainly got the English country garden as well. So actually really, really impressive image, really. And this could be something that I could definitely use to show a client. I'm thinking of some ideas. So guys, let me know what you think of the AI visualizer in Vectorworks. Have you tried it? Have you had good results with it? And what do you think about the new features for recalling image prompts, generating alpha channels, and also things like content, like textures and repeatable tiles and sort of materials, those sort of things. So as ever, thanks so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe just before you go, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.